Alright, today we're going to have a look at a couple of different runs and then a bunch of clips of one of my favourite builds in the game, which is the Axehandle Hound transform team. Now we're not actually going to transform our own pets, we're going to transform the opposing pets. And this is a build that I've featured a couple of times before. It has changed a few times as well due to abilities on pets changing, not least Axehandle Hound itself. But the premise is still the same. We want to try and make sure that an opposing unit is a duplicate. And the way we can do that is by transforming the opposing pets into rocks, which you can do with either Basilisk at tier 1 or Cockatrice at tier 6. Now in this particular game, it looks like we didn't get the Basilisk, or maybe there wasn't Basilisk in this pack, I don't really remember. Unfortunate here to lose to the Hippo. So we're actually on turn 6 with 0 wins, but it looks like we're going to get the level ups ready for turn 7. And hopefully we can turn this around. As the Axehandle Hound actually gets to trigger here, you can see its ability is quite different to the way it used to be. Originally it would do extremely high damage to one duplicate, but now if they have a duplicate, it will snipe every pet for low damage. So there are pluses and minuses to that. Obviously the further the game goes, the less likely you are to be able to knock anything out if you're only doing such a small amount of damage. But with the double level up here, we get a ton of options for tier 5. And it looks like I'm going to take either cow or eagle. And I end up settling for the cow. I guess that makes sense. We know we have to keep Axehandle Hound, but its stats are pretty terrible. So I'm going to have to boost it up a bit. The ability definitely isn't strong enough to carry, especially since we haven't leveled it up. But of course we can look for Quetzalcoatl later on. To be honest, actually the leveling doesn't matter too much. We're more interested in the fact that it can just remove the equipment of the opposing pets. But leveling it up and doing higher damage might get a crucial knockout on some unit in the backline. Now if I remember rightly, I think a large part of the relative success of this game is due to getting level 2 or possibly even 3 cow. Yeah, I was going to take Gelada there, but I think we're going to take the Tiger Bug instead. No duplicate on the opposing side, so Axehandle Hound does nothing. Which is exactly why we want to try and make sure that they have a duplicate so that the ability goes off every single turn. So the treasure chest breaks, we get Thunderbird. And yeah, just before I get rid of the Wyvern, we're going to take the level up and we end up getting the first Cockatrice. Now running double Cockatrice is kind of awkward because if the Cockatrice is high level, if you have a level 3, it's going to be guaranteed to turn the backmost enemy into a rock. And then if you have a level 2 or level 1 to complement it, you could end up just transforming the exact same unit into another rock, which isn't ideal and definitely did scupper a few of these runs. But as you can see here, we're getting the good luck with the waffles and the cows, and so we're in a good position to actually get everything set up here without losing too many more hearts. We face a fairly atypical looking troubadour team. This must be before he regressed to playing Behemoth Bakunawa every game. Yeah, we'll go for the level up on the Cockatrice. It's definitely more important than Axehandle Hound. And we'll just keep spreading the milk buffs around. But yeah, look how crazy cow is just by itself. I mean, we don't have a cat. And the Cockatrice is already 2338. Probably cow should not work with waffle. Fun looking team here with level 3 Chupacabra. But obviously with the massive stats from the cow's milk, it's going to be an easy win. And we actually get level 2 Cockatrice immediately, plus another one. So in theory, the combo could go off this next turn. It is just dependent on them having a level 2 unit in the back, and then also having a level 1. Sometimes you'll go against teams that don't have any level 1s, but here it is going to work. So we get 2 transformations on the backmost units. and then the Axehandle Hound does a very small amount of damage to everything. So ideally we would have the Axehandle, level 3 and then also Albatross behind it, which will allow us to boost the damage to its maximum. I'm not actually sure what the maximum is you can get from Axehandle Hound's ability. I don't think I had Pineapple in this pack, but that's only going to add 2 damage. And yeah, here you can see the issue where the backmost unit is a level 1, so both the level 2 and level 1 Cockatrice transform the same pet, which means the combo doesn't get to go off. So it really is very inconsistent, which is why you need this kind of ridiculous level of scaling from the level 2 and 3 cow. Yeah, we'll go for level 3 on the Cockatrice first. Now here we only transform one unit into a rock, but luckily they actually had a duplicate. And I do think one of the most satisfying things about playing Axehandle Hound is just getting matched with random duplicate teams. It's something that you don't really pay attention to unless you're playing Axehandle Hound, because it's the only pet in the game with this type of ability. And it is extremely satisfying when it just randomly works, even though your combo just doesn't quite get the setup that you need. So here we do get the combo because the backline unit was level 2. It looks like they've got a decent amount of scaling there from the Lioness. I guess this is pre-update, so some of the abilities are different to what they are in the current version of the game. But yet another waffle, and I think we'll start buffing the Albatross to give it more survivability. Yeah, funny here using Tofu to get another copy of the best milk. Now this team doesn't have a level 1, and so we are actually going to end up winning, I think. Or is it going to be a tie? It is a tie. Perfect. So we do get another chance to potentially see this work. We get the other Cockatrice to level 3. Might as well just go for the level 3 Albatross in case we tie again. And we do face a team with a duplicate, and we convert that duplicate into another duplicate and take down the victory with the Axehandle Hound squad. Alright, let's increase the complexity of this team a little bit. What I wanted to do in this run is incorporate some of the new Danger Pack stuff. We saw in that last game that I had 2 Cockatrices in the team, but Basilisk is actually much easier to set up, and because it's not, because it always transforms the frontmost unit, as we actually face this triple Deer Lord, I will have a clip of that potential 5-of-a-kind Deer Lord run in a future video. Yeah, like as I was saying, Basilisk plus Cockatrice is much easier to set up because it's a tier 1, but also it's guaranteed to hit the frontmost unit basically. So your odds of actually getting the Axehandle Hound trigger are so much better. And I think here we only get a draw because of the rat on the opposing side. So level up cow, we do get the Cockatrice, so now we can rearrange. Although maybe this particular turn I don't actually remember to move the Basilisk to the front. I guess we'll see in a second. Okay, we're just going to take the opportunistic starfish buffs. Of course, Basilisk itself does do quite a bit of disruption. Just transforming their frontmost unit can really destroy quite a lot of teams. We'll pill Kappa to get the 5th member of the squad. It's a Griffin, but we can transform it into something else later. And I buy the white truffle on the Axehandle Hound. So one of the issues of playing Basilisk at the front is that you really don't want it to be scaled up and then potentially knock out a unit by accident, which is one of the duplicates. As here we actually get to see the Axehandle Hound trigger on the double Shima and Aga, which is quite a rare occurrence, I think. And here we go, we transform the Griffin, we get another Axehandle Hound. So the goal here was to Well, there were two goals really. One was to have Axehandle Hound with White Truffle so that we can play the Basilisk right at the front. But then on top of that, I wanted to try and get two Axehandle Hounds both triggering in the same game. So I guess in theory, we don't want the first one to actually get a knockout. We want both the duplicates to survive so that we get both activations. So again, we're relying heavily on the cow milk scaling, and I am going to freeze the albatross. I don't think it's in this particular game, but one of the things I was interested in trying to do here was having Axehandle Hound with albatross on either side of it, which is enabled by the White Truffle. In previous versions, that would be impossible. But you can see how the White Truffle works here. They happen to have a duplicate, so the Axehandle Hound immediately triggers after the Basilisk faints. I think there's just something inherently satisfying about White Truffle as well. It's kind of like, your own custom version of Darwin's Fox. And it's probably a bit underexplored in terms of what you can actually do with it in customs. So I guess I'm going to give up on the cow at this point. Yeah, I really just want to get the combo maximized, but we'll take the cat to make the most of the last milk. And I think here I maybe make a mistake in terms of the ordering. Yeah, okay, no, we're going to make it... Yeah, we get it right in the end. Definitely the Axehandle Hound with the White Truffle should be further back. Especially since it has the largest stats as well. Unfortunately here, the second Axehandle Hound isn't going to get to trigger because both of the duplicates were knocked out. I think probably it would actually be better if I had this round the other way so that it was the level 1 that had the White Truffle and the level 3 was second. As we face Metabrusque here, yeah, this was super disappointing. If you want to rewind this battle and watch again, although we do win, that was an opportunity for both Axehandle Hounds to snipe. But the mana snipe from Metabrusque's team knocked out the second Axehandle Hound, so I think it was a 1 in 4 of the combo actually working perfectly there, and Metabrusque screwed it up. Behemoth gets turned to stone, which is pretty funny, but of course this team is absolutely massive with the level 2 cat, level 2 cow. Now level 2 cockatrice gives us a much better chance of having two opposing pets turned to stone. It's Metabrusque again. Yeah, this would have been quite different, I think, if we'd turned the pelican to stone. But instead we get destroyed by the duplicate salmon snipes. Down to the last heart. We really need the perfect opposing team here on turn 16. And it is... And we do get the duplicate, but I don't think we have enough yet. Clearly not. I guess this is Old Stork as well. So it's tier 5s and they get double macaque. So yeah, not quite the run that I wanted there. But we have tons and tons of clips from this recording session. And we'll start with this one. We're on exact same situation. We're on turn 16 with 9 wins. And I transform a behemoth into another cockatrice. So double level 3 actually doesn't help at all because they'll both just guarantee transform the backmost unit. So you actually have to sell a level 3 tier 6 here and replace it with a level 1. Now, there's not too many situations where you would want to do that, but absolutely legitimate example here. And then unfortunately we match Yogru and the backmost unit is a level 1 turkey. So on turn 16, I think the odds of that happening are pretty slim. So we were very unlucky that we didn't get the activation. However, it looks like it is going to be a tie. Yeah, because of the white ochre, it's a tie. And I think I then went on to lose like the next 2 rounds and it was just a disaster. But then here's a much earlier battle against Yogru where the combo does go off. And I think we do have enough to actually win this one, yeah. I assume that I ended up losing that game though. And then here's one where we don't have the combo set up at all, but we get a nice double amalgamation in the back line. Sometimes just incredible luck is more satisfying than your combo actually working. And then the luck runs out. I don't know if it's the next turn or a couple of turns later, but they do have a duplicate, but it's a duplicate on a blue whale team. So they're way too big for us to deal with. And yeah, that one was GG. There were a lot of games that went to 9 wins with these combos because they're so unreliable. And then here's the old version of Ammonite. So it creates a duplicate for the Axehandle to snipe. And I think, yeah, because we have level 3, we actually knock out one of the mimics there, and we do actually win. And then here's another double Axehandle team. But again, the backmost rock gets knocked out. However, the level 2 ant respawns 2 ants. And we do get to see 2 Axehandles snipe in the same game. And then this one looks like an automatic loss. But I think we end up getting perfect buffs there from the Tasty, and it's a tie. This is a hilarious one. They do actually have a duplicate already. But the Badger here, because of the lamprey getting removed, ends up deleting its own Bison. And then here's double opposing Sleeping Gelada with a pretty funny food team from Eminem Jr. But even with the transform snipes at the end, we still win. This one's very funny to me as well, where there is no duplicate, but then the Rollaway Monkey creates 2 porcupines and gives us the win. I don't know if that actually... I'm not sure if the outcome there would have been different if the Axehandle hadn't got the chance to trigger. And then here is one of the other teams that I was really trying to get going, you know, playing Axehandle Hound in the middle with Albatross and then Pygmy Hippo at the back. And here you can see it working against this Carve team. Unfortunately, in this one, we don't have the Cockatrice yet, but actually completely clear out that summon team because the Jersey Devils are so weak. And then the Phoenix spawn knocks out all the pigs and gives us the victory. Another double here where you actually can get quite a few rounds where you end up messing up the Axehandle trigger because they had a double already, and then you break the double by only transforming one pet into a rock. And here's a perfect type of opponent, you know, Bicel team that hasn't quite scaled up yet. And then on the other side of the equation, here's a Bicel team with double Gazelle in customs, which is super rare. 2 duplicates on their team, but yeah, they just had 2 big stats. Summon squad here. So yeah, they don't have a duplicate, but they do have level 2 Beluga, which gives them a duplicate mid-battle, and the Axehandle gets to go off. That's possibly one of my favourite clips from this session. It hadn't even really occurred to me that that could happen. And then lastly here, just a bit of fun. The Axehandle Hound white truffle setup doesn't work properly, and the Axehandle Hound is kind of sliding along the board on a diagonal. So let me know in the comments if you've played Axehandle Hound recently. It was originally one of my least favourite units from Unicorn Pack, but I think the current version is pretty fun.